Let us prepare a double column cash book from the following transactions. Now students, just to recall, in double column cash book we have two accounts. One is cash and the second is bank. That is, a double column cash book shows the details of both cash and bank. And while attempting this, we must make sure that we are aware what is or what are contra entries. Now students, on 1st May 2006, cash balance. Cash is an asset, so it would be debit balance. And in case of bank, if nothing is mentioned, it is assumed to be a debit balance. Now, on the debit side, it will be written as to balance brought down. In cash column, 50,000 rupees, and in bank column, 25,000 rupees. Now students, for the second entry, that is the entry on the 7th May 2006, it would be goods sold for cash 35,000. Now when we are selling goods for cash, that means we are receiving cash. Since we are receiving cash, entry would be made on the receipt side. So on 7/5, entry would be to sales. In the cash column, because we are receiving cash, amount is 35,000 rupees. Now students, entry on the 8th May, it is paid to Anand by check. Now what is important here is payment has been made by check, and by check we understand that we are making payment through our bank account. So this would be recorded on the payment side but in the bank column. So on 8th May, the entry would be by Anand, and in the bank column rupees 15,000. Now students, second last entry is 15th May, received a check from Neeraj rupees 30,000 and deposited into bank. That is, Neeraj has paid us a check worth rupees 30,000 and we have deposited that check into our bank account. That means we are receiving payment from Neeraj. Since we are receiving payment, the entry would be made on the receipt side but in the bank column because the check has been deposited into bank. So on 8th May, it would be to Neeraj, amount is 30,000 rupees and it will appear in the bank column. Coming to the last entry, that is on 25th of May, withdrew from bank for office use. Now students, it sounds familiar. We had done this in previous class that this entry is a contra entry. It is a contra entry. That means the postings will be made on both the sides, debit and credit. So let us identify the accounts, which account to be debited and which one to be credited. So withdrew from bank, that means we are receiving cash. Since we are receiving cash, entry will be made on the receipt side in the cash column as rupees 20,000. And since the bank is making the payment, to buy cash in the bank column, on the payment side 20,000 rupees would be shown as withdrawal. Again students, remember in ledger folio column we have to write C, which shows that it is a contra entry. Do mention the date here, 25th of May. Now, since all the postings have been made now, let us try and balance this out. On the debit side, the cash has a total of 55 plus 50, that is 1,05,000. And the bank column has a total of 30 plus 25, 55,000. Now students, to get the balance of cash, remember we will deduct the credit side total from the debit side total of cash column only. There is no entry on the credit side of the cash column. That means whole 1,05,000 rupees is the balance in hand. The total is same. Similarly, to calculate balance in the bank column, we'll deduct the debit columns and the credit columns of bank only. That is 55,000 minus 35,000. So the total comes to 20,000. And the grand total of this column is 55,000. Now again, since no date is there, we'll assume that this is for month of May only. So for the month of May, the last date is 31st May. Then in the beginning would be 1st July 2005, and it would be to balance brought down 1,05,000 and 20,000.